Welcome to CSN the Network Podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my amazing co-hosts, Dree Nazario and Malik Hampton. How are y'all doing this evening?
Good, man. Ready to pod. We're tired today. How's everybody?
Y'all know me, blessed and highly favored, Great day to pod, good day to be here, all of that. How you feeling, brother?
Man, y'all know the vibes. Like you say, blessed and highly favored. Definitely doing better now that I'm talking to you two. You know, we getting down to the nitty-gritty here as far as football season approaching. So I'm just excited, man. It's a lot of good motion going personally. And, you know, in the real world, man, I'm just excited for it to be the best time of the year, man. I think football is the best sport, the ultimate sport, ultimate team sport. So I'm just excited, man. We're tackling a variety of topics regarding football this evening. So I'm ready to hop right into it, man. What you got for us, Drizzy?
First, again, hopping right into the NFL. With recent contract negotiations between star players and recent transactions, what team or teams do you feel bolstered their chances to win the division and compete for the playoffs?
Well, first and foremost, man, I think although they scared me in the playoffs, I think the Packers are in a great position to contend for their division, Malik, and win. Of course, it's going to be tough with the Lions, right? Just with them being able to keep majority of their roster. I honestly feel like they got better letting go of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, right? They drafted my boy from Bama in reference to Detroit, so it's going to be tough for the Packers to win that division. But you know, I think they got one of the best corners in the league. They got a great young quarterback. You know, I look forward to seeing how he improves this upcoming year. You know, and build off the season he just had last year. Them signing Josh Jacobs, I thought was major. So I'm looking forward to it. And like we discussed on here before, Malik, I think you know they have one of the best groups, wide receiver groups in the league. You know, there's no one man that you could say is like the head honcho as far as you know being wide receiver one. They all have different skill sets. They all complement each other very well. So that's one of the teams I think that have really bolstered their chances to compete in their division and make the playoffs and make some noise. You know, like I said, they had my Niners nervous last year, so I think they're going to be a really formidable opponent. Another team, and this may shock Malik because it's a division rival for both of us, but I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to be pretty good this year. They got a tough running back. Of course, we all know who Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf is. It's just a matter of what kind of season Geno Smith is going to have. I know a couple years ago, you know, he broke some records for the franchise, but it really just rides on his shoulders. You know, how consistent can Geno be? How good will he play? You know, they're going to go as far as Geno plays. You know what I'm saying? If he plays great, I think they're going to contend, you know, in the division. It's always tough with the Rams. You know what I'm saying? It's a well-coached team. They got a good roster. They got one of the best receivers in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Uh, what's the name? The running back the Rams got is nasty. So I think it's going to be tough in the NFC West, you know, for my Niners this year. I still got us winning the division, but I think, you know, the Seahawks going to be good. I think the Rams going to be good. And another team that I think that may surprise a lot of people um, is the Browns. I think, you know, I think they're going to be able to continue to build off the year they had last year. I don't think their defense will be as good, Malik, but a healthy Deshaun Watson, a healthy Nick Chubb with Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper, you know, at your receivers. I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks. So those are some of the teams I think, you know, that have made moves as far as roster moves to really bolster their chances to contend in their division. And we'll see what happens, man. But that's what I got, though. What you got, Lake City?
Um, Two teams that come to mind for me is the Atlanta Falcons. Um, They picked up Judon in the trade, Matthew Judon from the Patriots, edge rusher. And then they also got Justin Simmons as well from free agency, and he had been sitting out there a while. He's probably the top free agent probably the whole time. He just was looking for some money, but he didn't end up getting anything crazy. But I think the Falcons, for sure, because a lot of people, was on them for not drafting the edge during the draft when they took Penix. A lot of people felt like they needed, to draft an edge because they had just paid Kirk Cousins. So to be able to, double back, get that. And then, Judon, he really on a prove it deal. He not even really asking the Falcons for money or nothing like that. He said he'd rather go earn a paycheck again. So I kind of respect that. That should be, music to the Falcons organization's ears, because that just means he's gonna be motivated to play. And Judon can play. And another team that I'd probably say is I like what the Tennessee Titans did. They don't really come to mind when a lot of people, would bring this up. But I like some of the quiet additions that they made. They got L'Jarius Sneed, and then just recently they just signed Quadre Diggs, to play safety for him. And I'm very high on Quadre Diggs. I think he's one of the more underrated players, of our generation for sure. If Will Levis can take a step, I think they could, shake up that division, because, a lot of people are just, completely picking Houston, and I would say that that's another team that for sure, boosted their chances based off of last year. They did nothing but add, on both sides of the ball. So yeah, throw the Texans in there too. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna just speak on the whole division. I don't know much. I know the Jags have talent. It's pretty much going to be up to Trevor Lawrence, what kind of season he gives us. But also the coach, they got some sneaky additions too through the draft, and then they'll have Anthony Richardson coming back, who was hurt, all last year. So yeah, that whole AFC South, and the Falcons, I think that the AFC South is interesting. I think they all making moves to get better, But yeah, those are my teams for sure.
Yeah, shout out to your Florida boy, man. I'm expecting big things from him. He showed some flashes last year before he got hurt. But yo, in reference to the Titans, man, they got DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley. If you would have told me 5 years ago that was, his receiving core, I would have been like, yo, the Titans lit. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins can still ball. He showed that last year. Calvin Ridley, he had a 1,000-yard season, but he just wasn't consistent. And y'all know that's my boy, my Bama boy. He just got to
But
be
he
more
was out the
consistent.
game for a minute too. He had the suspension or
Yeah, for
whatever.
gambling. So a lot of people kind of criticize Calvin Ridley, I would say, because they don't think he plays super hard. They don't think he always, runs his routes hard. That's kind of like the thing against him. So I'm looking forward to him bouncing back and proving people wrong. Before all this happened, you can ask other Alabama receivers. That's probably the best route runner that come through Bama under the Saban era, 1,000%. Him or Amari. So he got the route tree. It's just a matter of having good hands, being consistent, and really putting a good product on film. And I think he can do it. I think him getting that bag that he got will certainly help him rejuvenate. So we'll see what the Titans do. That was a good pick though, because they definitely been making, like you said, silent moves, but they've been splash moves as far as name recognition with the players they've been able to bring in. So we'll see.
They got Tony Pollard too.
Yeah, see, like.
If you are the Bengals, how would you handle Jamar Chase's contract?
Man, Malik, this is a unique situation because if you look at his numbers, he has almost 4,000 receiving yards in 3 years. But just as well as I do, when you're a first round pick, that contract is 5 years. It's not 4 years. So this isn't a contract year for him. He still has 2 years left on his contract. I think it's kind of unfortunate that they have to kind of decide to pay Jamar Chase right now. I mean, clearly they're going to pay him. But to answer Dree's question directly, I would try to talk to Jamar like, hey, listen, we trying to build something here. You see, we had to let go of Tyler Boyd. T Higgins needs a bag. You would like to be able to have complementary weapons around Joe Burrow. It's not just him, right? You definitely going to keep Jamar Chase. That's his college running mate, right? But I would like to sign T Higgins this summer, and then next summer we sign Jamar Chase. So that's how I would handle the situation to answer your question directly. I would try to be more patient. Excuse me, if I was the GM, I would try to enlighten, Jamar Chase to be more patient with us. You're going to get paid. You know what I mean? But I get it. I know we discussed this before in reference to contract negotiations and star players. What will we do? I know it's hard to wait because it's right now. Jamar Chase got hurt his second year in the league. So I understand why, he wants to be compensated now. He wants that security. But, from a team building standpoint, it's like, man, we're going to skip over paying T Higgins and pay you and totally take ourselves out of the equation in reference to being able to re-sign T. I think that's a great, wide receiver tandem right there. One of the best ones in the league, personally. But we'll see. But that's how I would handle it, man. I would try to convince him and incentivize him to wait, and then pay him next summer. But that's me speaking ideally. I understand these young athletes don't want to wait, nor should they. Especially if you have the numbers he has. But that's my take on it. What you think, Lee?
They just need to pay him, man. I mean, it's just simple as that. I don't really got much more to really speak on. I mean, like, you already have a bad reputation as an organization for not paying nobody, throughout the years. That's just a Bengals reputation. They're not going to pay T Higgins anyway because they would have already paid him in some type of way. That's why he got tagged. And I'm pretty sure they made some behind the scenes deal, you know what I'm saying? Because T Higgins even came out and said he wasn't going to hold out and everything when he got the tag. So he knew he wasn't getting paid. So, yeah, why not get at the money to me? Because it's going to come to me next year anyway. You know what I'm saying? I feel it's just good business on Jamar's end for real, because it allows him to get a bag and be able to get out there and get another one. You know what I'm saying?
Sooner, yeah.
Possibly two more. Possibly two more. You know what I'm saying? So, I understand the Bengals side, but that's just hoopla, bro. Like, they not paying T Higgins. They are gonna pay Jamar Chase regardless. So might as well get it done now. Earlier you do it, the better. Always, anyway. So yeah, get it done.
Word for that market reset again.
Exactly.
I do want to ask quick sidebar, Malik. I want to pose this question to you. Do you think CeeDee Lamb should be compensated as much or more than Justin Jefferson?
Yes. I mean, he's the Cowboys' offense, to be honest with you. That's a good thing for CD. That's a bad thing for the Cowboys fans. Just because they need something to complement CD. In that offense if they want to get better. As a football team, personally. But yeah, CD is the offense over there. He's earned his bag. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about there either. I understand Jettas is nice, but everybody he's not the only talented one in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Respect. Yeah, I didn't realize, Malik, he set the franchise record for the Cowboys in receptions and receiving yards last year. Goodness gracious. So, you talking about holding leverage. I think you think Brandon Cooks would be a good complimentary piece to your point, to help CD in the offense.
I mean, he was there last year. They didn't use him, though. I mean, if they use him right, he can be. Brandon Cooks is a productive receiver. but it just depends on how they use him. Last year they didn't use him right. I forget who was the coordinator, but we'll see what Kellen Moore does. You know.
Speaking of that, Leak, Tua made a couple of comments about his former head coach for the Miami Dolphins. Would you say that a coach still has the power to make or break a player on a professional level? You kind of just talked about it.
I mean, yeah, for sure. It just depends on, how you come in, and what type of investment you are, you know. I think if one of the people from the front office, like the higher ups, the owner or somebody, picks you, you know, uh, it's a little different because you got some type of
Backing.
pushing or backing, you know what I'm saying? But in any other circumstance, yeah, coaches got the full leverage to do anything, you know what I'm saying? Like players can't check themselves in and out of the games, you know what I'm saying? Like you can, but it's going like look crazy, so of course, but also, coaches, people get coached different ways, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's always been like that, you know, of course we grew up around hard coaching, you know what I'm saying, getting cussed at and stuff like that. But even back then for us, you know what I'm saying, even though, we made it out, you know what I'm saying, sometimes that shit pissed us off too, you know what I'm saying? So I understand, you know, uh, having a coach, talk down on you, you know what I'm saying? Especially in his situation, you got to think when you're a professional athlete, you got way more of a microscope on you, you know what I'm saying? And it's way more eyes on you, so you already getting it from social media, you know what I'm saying? You the topic of social media, you know what I'm saying? And most of it's coming from your head coach, you know what I'm saying? Because he don't believe in you, you know what I'm saying? And he letting you know that, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors, which is crazy. So yeah, it can play on his mental for sure. Tua's a good quarterback though. A lot of people hate on his arm strength, and I don't even think it's his arm strength. I think it's just, I guess, how it comes out of his arms to people, uh, or comes out of his hands. But yeah, I think a coach for sure has, you know, uh, they have a say in making and breaking, how your career goes. If you're not a backed athlete, and backing by as we just said, owner, front office, all of that, coaches, they can put you in and out the game, you know what I'm saying? They can freeze you out of the game, all of that. We before K go, just an example, you know what I'm saying? LaDainian Tomlinson was on the pivot talking about that AFC championship game, the year he broke the TD record. He only got I think he said he only got 10 carries or something the whole game. But I forget who their offensive coordinator was, but he was about to take a job, you know what I'm saying? Um, and basically sabotage the game, and if you know anything like that, LT's career, not saying he wasn't still that man for a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? But that was really the peak and started the downfall, you know what I'm saying, of the Chargers and, his career too, you know what I'm saying? So uh yeah, coaches got crazy power, but athletes more than ever, they got power. They got a little more power too. You know what I'm saying? That's why Tua pumping his chest out now. He got a bag.
Not for sure. And what we're talking about specifically, Tua came out, the Miami Dolphins starting quarterback came out and said, he was asked on a podcast, um, just about his experience with former coach Brian Flores. And he stated how, he basically told him, you know, somebody else could have been here. He was constantly tearing him down. So to answer Dre's question directly, I do think coaches have the power, but that really showed me right there, I'm not gonna lie, how effective in a positive or negative way, just how coaches, can talk to you. Either they can build you up and, totally have your confidence on 1,000, or they can tear you down and, have you questioning your ability when you've been doing this since high school, at a very high level, even before that, right? I think it's an interesting aspect nowadays, with me working in youth sports and, of course, us doing what we do as far as, being sports journalists. I think there is a shift that I have noticed in regards to how you have to talk and treat players. We talk about that all the time, especially, with me being in leadership and me being a coach, a head coach in certain facets. Parents always give me credit for how I get on the kids, but how I also build them up. And that's kind of like the approach that you have to take now with these athletes. It's not necessarily them being soft, right? It's just a different era. To Malik's point, we were all coached hard, Dree, I know your coaches expected greatness out of you. Malik, same thing, so when you have that expectation and that standard for an athlete, when they don't always produce or, play at that level, of course you're gonna get on them. But I think on a professional level, even more, that's multiplied by 100, right? In regards to building a player up, how you talk to him, how you treat him, how you design plays for him. Like a prime example, Malik, Vince Young. And I forget the coach's name. I put his name out of my mind because I'm not gonna lie, I feel slighted because Vince Young is no longer in the league. That's Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher is the reason Vince Young is not in the league. And Malik, I just came across last night on TikTok USC and Texas game when we was in middle school, brother. I was shocked. Still to this day, I'm shocked Texas beat them. But he put on a beautiful performance. And y'all remember his first couple years in the league, Vince Young was balling. He was on the cover of Madden. But we never really heard about him since, due in large part because of Jeff Fisher. I'm not going to solely blame him, but that was a very major, he played a very major role in why Vince Young, started to play bad and eventually had his exit out the league. So, to answer your question directly, I still think coaches do have the power. And that's why, people love the pod. And that's why I love the pod too, because we tackle topics in a different manner. Of course, this is something that's relevant and near and dear to all of us because we all have, experience playing, all have coaches that we love. Dree, you was coached by your dad. I know Unc used to get on your nerves sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But that was because he expects greatness from you, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with me, my coaches. I've been kicked out of practice, all types of stuff. Y'all know me, I was a wild youngin', right? And I didn't quite understand when I was young, but when you have an expectation for an athlete and they're not doing it all the time or consistently, it causes you to act a certain way. But now even more, you got to be mindful, of what you say and how you say it. So that's my take on it. Coaches definitely still have the power on the professional level, and you just got to be more mindful nowadays, man.
Yeah, I think to kind of piggyback off of that, I think you all answered the question perfectly, but I think we kind of realize now that it don't necessarily take all of that, right? I think back then, we didn't have like a lot of access. So maybe our emotional intelligence wasn't, um, I guess, as peaked as kids are now. You feel what I'm saying? All we knew was people yelling, screaming, cussing, or whatever. So that equaled, oh, I want you to be great. But at the same time, you had a lot of coaches abusing their power and abusing their authority, and just essentially doing too much. You feel what I'm saying? You got coaches throwing balls at kids and, you know, even trying to square up with kids, again, trying to I again abuse that power or stroke their ego in whatever way that they need to. So I think it's a good thing that the power is kind of shifting back to the players. Obviously, there needs to be some type of check and balance, right? There has to be some type of respect, mutual respect. because ultimately a coach is a coach for a reason. Uh, but yeah, I think that's kind of, the shift. Like, it don't necessarily take all of that. I talk to my college coach all the time, and he just, he coaches different from the time we came in, or he came in and it was our head coach, and now how he coaches these young ladies. He has to maneuver different. He has to go about things in a different manner than how it was when when we were in college. Like, it ain't none of that, extra strict, extra like, nah, like, they kind of, handle it as a business, like a real business. We thought it was a business then, but it's a real business now. Like, nah, this is my job. I'm gonna come in, give you my time, and then I'm gonna go on about it. Versus like with us, it was like a ball is life type thing. So anything in reference to life, basketball came first. It ain't like that now. It ain't like that at all.
What Dre, I got a question for you. You coached before both of us, you know what I'm saying? Quick out of school, you've trained. Do you think that it's an end of an era in reference to being able to coach people real hard, in reference to like the Bobby Knights of the world, you know what I'm saying?
No. Um, I would say so. I would say
Yeah.
so. Just because of everything that you have, like, again, all the access that people have. You got social media, you got, all these platforms where essentially if a kid's not happy, or if you piss a kid off too much, now they can, tarnish your whole career. So I think that is implanted in the back of coaches' minds. Now, I'm not gonna say that you can't coach people hard, like you can't, expect greatness out of them, or, you know, I'm not even gonna say lose your temper, but throw a couple cuss words here and there. But I think the most important thing about it is the the opposite side, the parallel side. So yeah, you're gonna coach me hard, but I need you to love me hard also. Like, and I think that's the difference between, good coaches and crazy coaches. Like, yeah, you could cuss, you could do whatever you need to get me motivated, right? But at the same time, after we get done with practice, or, the clock hits zero, I need you to love me just as hard, or if not harder. So I do know that it's no, like, it's no hard feeling when it comes to us being inside these lines.
Nah, for sure. I'll be honest with you, man. I heard, through the grapevine, there was some parents hating on me, Leak. I guess what how I am with my kids, but that was, parents from an opposing team. They don't know, how we rock. You got to think when you young and black, not to put a race card, but you know how it is, Malik. You know how it is, Dre. So, I'm trying to prep them not only, strategically on the basketball side, but I'm trying to, help groom these young men, you know what I mean, and prepare them and, instill things in them, you know what I mean? And I do have a standard and an expectation, right? But I think that because I bring that up because one of my players, he put me down real quick put me down as one of his favorite people, me and his mom and his siblings. And I was shocked because like I be on bruh, you know what I mean? Like not crazy. I just be on his line. I'm not letting up. Any slight where you not doing something right, you jogging in sprints, you coming in third and not first, I'm on your line. Right. So I'm thinking, like, yo, he probably think I'll be bugging out on him. You know what I mean? But that just shows that he knows that, it's all out of love, right? But I make sure that's one of the main things why I wanted to get into coaching, because that player coach relationship, right? I look forward to the car rides, me picking you up, me taking you home, me feeding you, the conversations we have, us talking about school, us talking about, your mom. These are all things that we all can relate to, you know what I mean? So those things that bring me joy, right? And I know what it is. I know what it's like out here, especially at this young age. So that's my thing, to Dre's point. You definitely got to love hard. It's definitely a different generation, but I agree though. That's it. Probably is OV as far as just being that crazy, wild coach because it's just not going to sit well with the bystanders in reference to parents specifically. So you kind of definitely got to have that balance.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of another legendary coach, do you all think Mike Tomlin put his job in jeopardy with his accusation of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields?
Acquisition.
Oh, my bad.
No, you could. That was a smooth segue. I like how you transitioned into that.
Bad.
Lick, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he did, man. And I hate that for him. I love Coach Tomlin. That's one of the coaches I study. I love how well spoken he is. I love just his ideology on coaching. Man, I just love everything about Coach Tomlin. I don't know him personally, of course, but everything he says, everything he puts, in these interviews that I watch of his, I'm like, that's how I aspire to be in reference to how I can treat my players and just have them regard me the way his former players regard him. But I do think he put his job in jeopardy, although he signed that extension. Because if Malik, if this doesn't hit, and he signed 2 quarterbacks, that's why I'm saying that. If one of them don't pop, it's a problem. It's a problem. So I'm nervous for him. I hope the Steelers have success because I don't want anything to happen to Coach Tomlin, but I do think he potentially put his job in jeopardy with those potential roster moves, signing Justin Fields and Russell Wilson because they don't look very good right now, respectfully. But that's my take on it. What you think, brother?
I think Mike Tomlin has built up enough equity to pretty much go out on his own terms. I think that's why he got that extension because this has already been a rumor, before. But he never has a losing season, so you can't really criticize based off of what he has. You know what I'm saying? They had a long run with Big Ben. You know what I'm saying? A lot of teams don't get those types of runs with quarterbacks. That's just the facts. And have success with it. That's just the facts. And be able to, morph your team into whatever you need, what I'm saying, based off of your quarterback being there. It's just facts. I think it is unfortunate, but I mean, if it is as terrible as it is going to be, they shouldn't have no problem with tanking a year if Mike Tomlin truly wants to stick around and have another shot at it. You could always tank, try to get one of them top quarterbacks that come out, you know what I'm saying, and see how you can really do it on the real last, go around, see if the time is really past you. But Mike Tomlin, he's a good mentor as well as a coach, so that's valuable anywhere.
That's all I have for the NFL. Do we have anything else that we would like to mention? Cool. Moving on to the WNBA. Um, a lot of people are speculating that Caitlin Clark will be the Rookie of the Year this year. The only person close to her is Angel Reese. And looking at the stats, looking at the numbers, Caitlin averages 17.8 points a game, so almost 18 points, 5 rebounds, almost 6 rebounds, and 8 assists, which she leads the league in, and shooting 41% from the field. Where Angel averages a double-double, she averages 13.6, almost 14 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, 12.3 rebounds a game, which she leads the league in, and 1.7 assists. Both average 1.4 steals. Angel's shooting percentage is a little bit lower than Caitlin's, which to me is the blemish that kind of gets her. She averages her field goal percentage is 39.8% as a post player, which isn't necessarily good. So I mean, I understand that they probably throwing a lot of bodies at her, but I feel like that's the blemish that kind of sets Caitlin apart from Angel. She's averaging more points and doing it more efficiently from a guard spot, which you don't normally see. Um, again, from when you compare guards and post players. So to answer the question, I think so. Caitlin is, she's becoming the face of the NBA, whether we like it or not, or WNBA, excuse me, whether we like it or not. Um, so I think even just from a political standpoint, she would get it over Angel regardless. Because I mean, I don't know. You averaging a double double as a rookie is special. But they're both special players, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they gave him a uh, rookie of the year. Um, it wouldn't surprise me one bit to kind of appease both fan bases because you're gonna hear the Angel Reese fans also once Caitlin Clark wins. So regardless, they gonna hear. So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to both of them.
I'm not going front. I'm not really jacking the co MVP talk. You know what I'm saying?
Rookie of the
Uh,
year.
huh?
Rookie of the year.
Yeah, excuse me, rookie of the year, co-rookie of the year. Look at me just thinking forward because these are both potential MVPs. I see that in their foreseeable futures, but I think Caitlin Clark. I'm not gonna lie. I think she's emerged as the favorite in recent weeks. I know they just came back from the break that they had for the Olympics, but as we spoke about before, we hopped on air. She broke the rookie record for assists. She leads the league in assists per game, averaging over 8. I think that's wavy. You know what I'm saying? She's been averaging 26 points since coming back from the break. Now, of course, that's going to be heightened average wise because it hasn't been that many games, but she's starting to figure it out. And it's exciting to see. She's a very good, efficient player, takes care of the ball, very great playmaker. So Angel Reese been hooping. Don't get it twisted, man. I love my sister. You know what I'm saying? I love what she's doing. I love what she represents. I just think she's not super efficient enough for her to get that co-rookie of the year. Because before, if you would have asked me like 3 weeks ago, I would have been on that. But as of now, as recently, I think Caitlin has ran away with it. But that's just me. You got anything you want to add, Lake City?
Nah, man, I think Caitlin clear front runner right now. That's just my opinion. They both having good seasons, but I think Caitlin's definitely having a better season, and she looks like she's starting to figure it out for sure from her spot, her viewpoint of the league. So
Yeah.
let's get to the game.
The next question was, will she end up being the best player in the WNBA? Do you mean like ever, or
At
in
any point in her
at
career,
any point? I mean, I think she has the potential for sure. Um, as long as Asia Wilson is around, though, it may be skewed a bit, in my opinion, because Asia Wilson is a dog, and she seems like she's getting better year over year. Um, so I think those are big shoes to fill, and it's kind of unfair for us to, I guess, have that expectation of Caitlin so soon. When you look at somebody like Asia Wilson, who has been in the league, I want to say at least 8 years. I'm not sure what the number is off the top of my head. And she's kind of, in the last 3 to 4 years, just really hitting that stride, that peak where she's getting better year after year. You think about a Brianna Stewart, who is the same, um, it's unfair to kind of try to put her in that category right now. Does she have the potential? For sure, for sure. Um, she's a great talent. Um, the team that she's on, if she can, if they can start building around her. They got a good team. Don't get me wrong, we're a decent team, but they're probably about a piece away, a piece or two away. Especially coming off the bench, from being a really, I'll say, a decent contending team. Because right now they're floating around the bottom, eight. But yeah, if they can, get some pieces around her, because eventually, as she figures it out, other teams are gonna figure it out as far as a scout. And they're going, what I'm saying, if they don't put anybody around her or more people around her, then they'll be able to zero in on her and Kelsey and Aaliyah. Right now, that's their big three. So, whereas you got other teams that have big fours, big fives. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I think that'll kind of determine, you know, how successful she is. But even to that point, um, she may be the all time leading scorer or whatever the case may be. If they don't build around her, because she could, put that thing up there as many times as she wants to.
I think she got the potential to be one day. We'll see if it happens. So, thank Juju.
Like I was gonna say, because I think Juju going to be so cold when she get to that
I'm not
WNBA. Whoa.
Juju and Paige, man. Paige is cold.
Yeah, Paige
Paige
is
is
cold.
everybody. Paige is who everybody wants Caitlin Clark to be. Paige is like that. Like, scored all three levels, can facilitate, athletic. She cold. She cold. And we saw that, we saw her come to life in the playoffs last year, in the NCAA tournament. And that's, her coming fresh off an injury. So imagine, her putting in work now. She's hanging with, the Sue Birds, Diana Taurasi's, like, she's in that clique. So they're gonna have her ready. So
That's a fact.
it's only a matter of time.
Caitlin Clark be giving it to Tarasi, man. She
Leaks?
be giving it to
Rossi, 40 years old now.
Thank you. But Leak is silly, man.
What are you
I'm
talking
saying
about?
that
I'm
to
just
say
talking
that
about from
don't mean
a
nothing. Who
developmental
cares what
standpoint.
Tarasi thinks? Who cares Tarasi mentoring somebody? Who cares?
Malik,
Who
you sound
cares?
disrespectful as hell, because she's one of the greatest basketball players ever. That's like saying, who cares that Michael
She's a
Jordan
hater.
is
She's a hater.
mentor Kobe Bryant? You acting silly as hell. Shut up,
She's a
boy.
hater. I'm glad Caitlin be torching her. She be
She's 40
hating.
years old. She's 40 years old. And I don't think she hated. She just told the truth that she was going to struggle, which she did.
She don't struggle versus her. She makes sure she show up that night.
Barely plays, but I'm sure if we look at, the wins versus losses, I think the Suns probably capped them a little bit more than they capped the Suns.
You ain't lost to Tarasi. Go look at it.
For real.
You ain't lost yet. Nah.
Nah,
Yeah,
they haven't lost yet, yeah.
She be giving it to Tarasi.
But Malik
You
is
hear all that
silly.
hate, man. Nah, bro, because bro, everybody be nice, bro. It's fine, you know what I'm saying? But like for Dre to say like Paige is who everybody wants Caitlin to be, it's like, no, Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark. Paige is Paige, you know what I'm saying? If you prefer one game than the other, that's fine. I'm not really gonna argue with you.
What I'm saying
Because
is
I
from
think
a
they
like
both
a all
good.
around from an all around standpoint. Like, Paige was that prior to, y'all gotta think, Paige got hurt. She was hurt 2 years in a row. Nobody was talking about Caitlin prior to Paige getting hurt, for real. Paige goes down. Now Caitlin Clark stock rises. That's all I'm saying. It's not this person versus this person. like y'all swear because somebody has an opinion other than Caitlin Clark, they be hating on her. I'm not hating on her; she's good, but from an all-around standpoint, Paige Beckers
You
is.
got to give me something. You got to give me something that would separate the two because eye test ain't gonna separate it, and numbers ain't gonna separate it. Caitlin Clark got better numbers every year.
What again? Paige was hurt 2 years. So what years does she have better numbers than her besides the 2 years she was?
Exactly. So what are we? What are exactly? You see what I'm
So
saying?
what
So
are you?
what are we
No, what are you
comparing?
talking
What
about?
are we
That don't even that
comparing?
doesn't even make sense. That's
How? You
irrelevant
got one that's
because
averaging 30, and then you got one with no stats. But you telling me she
that's
better?
irrelevant though. Because how can you compare the two if somebody's not playing? That don't even make sense.
Exactly. So you can't tell me that she's better than Caitlin, or that's who you can't say that
I
she's on
didn't
that
say.
level
Did I say
and
she
she
was
ain't
better than
got the
Caitlyn?
work to,
Did I
to
say she was
show
better
it.
than Caitlyn? I did not
She's
say
not
that.
on the level.
I
You
didn't
said
say that. I
she's.
didn't say
You
she was
said
better than
Paige is
Caitlyn.
who
I said
everybody
Paige
wants
is
Caitlin to
who
be.
everybody thinks Caitlin Clark is from an all-around perspective. Well,
And how
and
could you say that with
that's
no
what I said.
evidence?
I didn't say Caitlyn. I didn't say Paige
How
was
can you
better
say
than
that with no
Caitlyn. I
evidence,
never
though?
said that. I never
How can
said
you say
that.
that with no evidence, though? You just said you ain't got no evidence to prove
I
that.
just gave you my evidence. I just told you my
So it's
based
your
off
eye
of.
test.
No, it's not an eye test. Based off of prior before Paige got hurt, and you can even see it in the NCAA what Paige was able to do.
Yet to real quick, just to be neutral here, right? Paige won Player of the Year her freshman year, averaged 20 her freshman year, right? Um, so it's like Paige is cold. I get both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? Paige was
This
ranked the number one point guard coming out of high school. Her and Caitlin are the same class, right? So it's definitely, we nitpicking here, but I see both
not
sides for
really.
sure.
I'm just saying Paige go
How
gives
much
her
did Caitlin
Caitlin
Clark
Clark
average at Iowa her
top
freshman year,
prizes. What
Kay?
you talking about, huh?
Because Paige is older, right? Who's older?
No, they're
Not
in the same
they're in the
class.
same class.
So how much did Caitlin average her freshman year at Iowa? Can you tell us that? Because this is two completely different programs as well.
26.6.
Huh?
She averaged 26.6.
26.6 her freshman year?
Yeah.
Man, come on. What we talking about? What are we
Malik,
talking
they
about?
It's
both
six
averaged
points.
20 plus.
Right, they
Yeah.
added 20 plus. What are you talking
I'm
about?
just
You
trying
talk
to say
about you're not comparing.
so
You just
Caitlin's
said it
put
was
up
two
better
different
numbers her whole
programs. You
career.
talk
That
about
is
6 points. You said it was two different programs. You talking about 6 points. You talking about somebody playing in the at
dog.
UConn and then somebody playing at
So
Iowa.
I was gonna be under the impression that Paige put up,
So
what you go
because
to
it was skewed
UConn.
to your person's
You go to
advantage, you were
UConn.
gonna say,
Yeah.
okay, well, Paige put up more because she played it here. But now that Caitlin averaged more
No. I'm just saying Paige had a
at
better season than Caitlin her freshman year, even though Caitlin averaged more points than her because Paige's team probably went further than Iowa, I'm sure. I'm more so
yeah,
positive
I'm pretty
about
sure
that,
they went to the
you
final
know.
four if
Uh
not.
but I thought the numbers was I thought she would have had her on the points the freshman. I really thought that's what was gonna happen. So Caitlin been that deal for real. Like,
Yeah, cause
okay, yeah, she been that deal.
Ain't nobody saying otherwise.
Caitlin hard though. They
And I
all can
think
hoop though, but I think Juju better than all of them. So that's the funny part about it all.
that's what's wild. No, I gotta I love Paige, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting to see. But I am very intrigued to see what Juju look like in the league because she remind me of you, Dre, hooping like a man, like a skill set. You know what I'm saying? Juju
that's the thing
cold.
though. Y'all gonna have a minute to wait. Juju is a freshman, or is she about to be a sophomore? Girl, it's gonna take a while for that to happen. So that
Yeah.
ain't even really a
She might be the best player
conversation
as soon as
for
she hit
real.
the league though. Like it might be that type of deal. She going out there and doing that her freshman year of college, taking them to the Final Four, even 30.
Yeah, that's years
She
away.
cold, cuz.
Didn't she have like a 40-point game this year or something
Yes.
crazy, bro? Like,
Yes. She's the
bro, come
one.
on. Man, yeah, she's the one for
Yeah.
sure. She
Um.
on the Nike commercial while we playing. She got ads.
Yeah. Yeah. She'll definitely be. God willing. Um. if she continues to work the way she does, she will be pretty good once she enters the league. But like I said, you got at least 2 more years for that to happen. They can't come out until junior year. Um, so anyway, next question. I really don't even want to tackle. I'll let y'all talk about it as far as Caitlyn receiving so much hate because I think it's opposite, honestly. Um,
Well,
You think so for real?
well,
yeah,
in the league though, Dree, in the league, that I know you peep Skylar Diggins speed
Man,
walking to
yeah, come.
cut
We
her off.
not going. We gotta stop. That's awful.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
egregious. That's
Skylar
egregious.
and Dree, I know you remember Skylar Diggins complaining about how they used to treat her when she first got in the league. Now look at what you doing, Skylar.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of I just want to say it's competitive edge for real. Like you think about, and I watched Caitlin Clark play live, and she is not innocent by any means, which is annoying. You feel me? They caught that clip of Skylar, but you don't know what Caitlyn might have said to her prior to, or whatever the case may be, that could have sparked it. Not saying that it did,
Got
but
you.
I'm sure something may have happened. And that's the thing that I'm saying where it's like she don't it's not the hate piece of it. It's like, all right, now we making it seem like everybody's hating on her, but we're not seeing what she doing 2 plays ahead. And I watched this live myself where Caitlin Clark wrapped up somebody, did whatever she did, the girl retaliated, the girl gets a tech, and Caitlin's like, I don't know what happened. When you sit there and watch her push this girl, wrap her up, push her, and so on and so forth. So to me, it's a part of the game. Like I think we blow up things that happen in women's sports when this wouldn't even be a topic of conversation in the men's game in the NBA. They do all types of catty, nitpicky type things to each other, and it's not a 30-minute segment on ESPN the next
Word.
day.
No, I get it. But yeah, so I think to answer it real quick, the reason why I think she gets the hate she does, I think people just I want to say they see the attention she's bringing over to the profession, and that may rub some people the wrong way. You know, the treatment that she's getting, they kind of rolling out the red carpet for her. So I think that's what it is, honestly. People kind of I wouldn't say it's like from a place of envy. I would say it's just like, y'all are ready to crown this young lady and she ain't really put the time in. That's what I think.
But I think that's still an unfair perspective because
Word.
again, these are competitors.
Yeah,
These are
yeah, yeah.
professional athletes. So what are they supposed to do?
No,
Like
I'm
again,
with you.
I'm not saying you got to go out your way to do anything bad to anybody or whatever the case may be, but this ties into the conversation we were having early in the WNBA season. What y'all want them to do? Chill?
Keep
Don't
it
do
basketball. Keep it
again. The dudes
basketball.
don't do that. Why should women have to do that?
Uh,
No competitive athlete does that. So why should women WNBA players have to do that when it comes to this person? And y'all
To
ain't
be
said that.
honest with you,
Y'all ain't said that prior to this situation. Just like you said, Skylar Diggins was talking about how they used to do her. You ain't hear nobody say keep it strictly basketball. Keep
no,
it
that's a
low.
fact.
You seen how they threw Diana Taurasi around her rookie year. Not to say that it's okay or whatever the case may be, but again, it's competition. So I think
okay.
it's just unfair, but I digress.
Can we keep it a bean though? They was mad at Skylar Diggins. It wasn't because of like, she was. Can we keep it a bean? They was just mad because she had her little. She was popping on the gram. She was a little, model outside of that. She was one of the one of them girls that started the trends of,
But how do you know that though?
Because that's what it was.
Girls' heads or
That's
these
the only
women's
reason why
heads
people really
for them to
like
be
Skylar
mad at
Diggins. She
what?
could
How do
hoop,
you
but she
know
looked
that?
good too. That was
How
the
do you know
thing.
that? But y'all always, niggas always swear somebody hating on somebody because they have something. It don't have to be that. It could be they were just competing. How do you know they were hating? Did you see somebody
Was Skylar
say, "Oh, I'm
Diggins the
hating"?
number one pick?
No, like what? What are
So
you
what are
talking
we
about?
talking about? Why would they come? Why would they not? What? You're going to come at the number one pick. You're going to come at the person that they're propping up as far
Okay,
as
so say
game
that
wise.
instead of saying it's because she was pretty. Say that. Say it's because she was the number one pick and they wanted to
No,
prove
nobody was
themselves
coming at
against
her
the
because
number
they was
one pick.
propping her game up, is what I'm trying to tell you. She was propped up because she was Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne coming to her games while she had Notre Dame and stuff like that. That's why Skylar Diggins was popping. That's why they was mad. She had more notoriety outside of the game than the girls already when she stepped foot into the game. It wasn't because people was hating on her. Skylar Diggins ain't advanced the game. Ain't nobody care about or think Skylar Diggins was some type of crazy hooper. It was because she was good. Don't get me wrong, she was good. It was also because of the off the
He was
court stuff
bad.
too.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was bad.
But
Let's be
again, those are
real.
all speculations because on
That's
one hand, you're saying it's because of this, but it could be they were just competing and now it's been made big because she has fame or she has attention. People are paying more attention to Skylar Diggins getting hit versus number 2, 3 on the roster getting hit. It don't
let
have
me
to
let me tell
be.
you, wasn't nobody paying attention to her getting hit. She had to come out and say it. She made it a thing. They wasn't coming on TV. We didn't see her get pushed on national TV like the girl from who she played for, the Sky. What's the light skinned girl's name from A&M that pushed Caitlin earlier in the season? Lost her temper.
Carter or something like that.
Yeah, Carter. Yeah. It was. Come
Cheney.
on, man. I'm not saying. All right, I'm gonna just keep it a beam. It is some hating going on for whatever reason. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I think the solution to it is you can't stop it anyway, so you might as well just embrace what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Uh, keep it between the lines. You want to get chippy between the lines and everything, that's fine. I'm not even worried about that. You know what I'm saying? But don't do some extra stuff, you know what I'm saying, when you between the lines, aka what Skylar Diggins did the other night. Like she looked crazy, caught in 4K, speeding up, walking just so she could run into that girl. You know what I'm saying? Because she mad because she pumping up the crowd. And
Again,
then the coach get mad. The coach get mad at her. The coach get mad at Caitlin after that. Go back at the Fevers coach, you know what I'm saying, acting like Caitlin doing something crazy. When she ain't, Skylar Diggins just did all that, caused all that ruckus right there in your little huddle. You ain't even see it, but it was your own player. And also, they was mad because the Fevers, from what I read, they was mad that the Fevers coach
what you
didn't
read
take the starters out.
from what you read again.
That's
Like
that's what the reporters got from that situation. They said that scuffle at the end of the game, because it wasn't just the Skylar Diggins thing. It started before that. They were arguing because Seattle's coach was mad that the Fevers coach ain't pull her starters quick enough.
mm,
That started all the ruckus. So they was just mad they lost.
which is allowed.
It is completely allowed. That's why I said keep it basketball. You ain't got to go bumper and all that. You know what I'm
Which is
saying?
allowed. Again, I don't think we have these conversations for men. So to me, being a competitor myself, knowing that I bump people, knowing that I've done whatever I've done to get off either
Okay.
whether it was
You
frustration,
can bump her, but don't look crazy trying to bump her. Just go up
whether
for the smoke. Cause Skylar Diggins ain't want no smoke. She bumped her and looked in the nosebleeds.
Tuck
Like
your
what
tail,
happened?
huh,
I'm not,
cuz?
and I'm not taking
Yeah,
up
like
for it
come
either. I'm
on.
just
If you
saying,
want the smoke,
again,
go ahead all the way.
we don't have these conversations in reference to the men's game. That's my point. I don't know what Skylar Diggins was thinking. I don't know. I don't really care, honestly. But I
They
think
going all the way
we're
in the men's
making a
game.
bigger deal than what it really is. It was something that happens in between the lines of basketball. They were still on the court. There was still time on the clock, so on and so forth. We making it a bigger deal than it has to.
Also, one more example before we go, just to give you a big scale of it. Draymond Green. Search Draymond Green's name on Twitter. Did you hear the conversations behind Draymond Green this year during the
Yes,
regular
but
season?
that's
Because he
egregious.
wasn't keeping it basketball. Niggas was calling him
That's
crazy.
egregious though. Like Draymond was clotheslining people. That's not the same as Skylar Diggins pumping her off. Like,
But it's the same thing as Green Eyes pushing
that
her
is
down.
not.
No,
Draymond was
don't
damn
single out the
tackling
Skylar
people.
Diggins thing. Then
He
talk
was
about Green Eyes
damn
pushing her
clotheslining
down.
people.
Talk about
He was
Green Eyes
getting
pushing her
ejected.
down.
That wasn't even an ejectable offense right there. What are we even talking about? It's not the same thing.
She got fined and she got teched up. Did she not?
I don't know but it wasn't an ejectable offense. You talking about Draymond?
It could have been ejectable if the ref decided it was ejectable. It was
playing WWE and on basketball. That's nowhere near the fucking same, bro.
Draymond also has a reputation built. He has equity built in technical fouls, so he has a shorter leash than anybody. Anything he does is going to be considered crazy.
This man be clothesline exactly because he be clotheslining people. He be kicking people in the nuts. He be doing all types of wild stuff. That was nowhere near the level of.
And little hothead Shorty be pushing people. That's why she was out the league for a little second. Let's talk about it. She a hothead. So are you gonna talk about Draymond Green? She a hothead too, which it showed that day.
She is a hothead, but what does that have to do with? Again, these are not the same type of offenses. We started with talking about Skylar Diggins. We already talked about that Carter situation, right? We already talked about it. Did she do a lot? Probably so. But
you
not
said
that
this
much.
wouldn't be a conversation on the men's side, and I'm trying to tell you Draymond Green was a conversation.
Not Skylar Diggins damn doing that to her. That's not a conversation on the men's side. They might show a little clip of it and then they're moving on. You're talking about Draymond Green who dang clotheslines people, kicks people in the nuts, and gets ejected out the game.
First of all, it's going to be a conversation because the coaches were going at it first, and then it sprinkled into that. It was going to be a conversation regardless. It was going to be a conversation regardless.
You're reaching. You so hard, bro.
Hell. Hard. No, what was reaching was first speed walking to bump the white girl and looking in the third row.
No, it has nothing to do with her being white or anything like that. All I'm saying is these people are professional athletes, bro. Act like it. They do not have to treat this girl no special type of way.
Who said they
don't ask them to treat anybody else.
But you got to keep it basketball. If you're a professional, you keep it basketball. You keep it professional. And what they've been doing ain't professional.
You compete. That's all I'm saying. Y'all not asking them to treat anybody else any special type of way. I don't care who it is. I could care less if it was Caitlin Clark or whatever the case may be. Because they didn't highlight when somebody else might have pushed somebody or whatever the case may be. The only reason we're talking about it is because it's Caitlin Clark.
The only reason why we're talking about it because it keeps happening to one player.
No, it doesn't, bro. That's the point I'm trying to make. I sit there and watch the whole basketball game, and they were pushing and competing. That's what people do. But
pushing and competing is two different things.
It happened to Caitlin Clark one time.
Pushing and competing is two different things. It's two different things.
You can
same with Diana Taurasi. Got mad the other day trying to brush with Caitlin. Yeah,
it's over.
Let's just agree to disagree.
It's over because they don't want to admit that she's changing the game and they gotta accept it, bro. That's what it is. So keep it professional. She the golden goose right now. It's the only reason why Oz is on the game over there. I know Audrey Wilson is nice. I know the Blue May girl is nice. I know a couple of girls is nice, but to be honest with you, a lot of people just don't like watching that type of product, you know what I'm saying? So it's got to be a special player. It plays a certain type of style that is popular in today's game, which nobody else will also admit.
Hey,
you can't name me one girl that you call a legend or whatever from that guard position that plays this way, that is popular to these kids of all ages, of all races nowadays. The Steph Curry era. You can't name one girl. You can't name one. One. Maya Moore didn't shoot like that. Maya Moore didn't shoot like that. On God, Maya Moore didn't shoot like that. And Maya Moore was cold. Maya Moore was cold. But if you think Maya Moore can shoot as deep like Caitlin Clark, you crazy shit. That wasn't even her game.
But you didn't. You said to play like that. Like, what are you talking? Like, you just trying to skew the argument to make
I'm
it
not
make
trying to
sense
skew
to
the
you.
argument. I'm trying to
But
give you the real.
You
Yes,
are.
you are.
No.
You are correct in what you're saying as well. Don't get me wrong. That's how That's how these folks run business. That's on
Okay,
all
so what are
levels
we
of
even
sport.
talking about? So why are you bringing it up when you know it's already skewed? That's
Because that ain't a reason to
unfair. That's
hate. Because
unfair.
the game ain't gonna
It's
go
not a
forward
reason
with
to hate.
hate. The game
It's
ain't
the
gonna go
reality
forward
of
with
what
hate.
we
That's
live
the
in, bro.
problem.
And
That's the
no,
problem.
you're
That's the
people
problem they
like you
don't
are the
understand.
problem. Like
No, it's not.
that's
The game
unfair.
has to go forward. No matter how
It
they like
does,
it or
and
not, it's going
it is.
forward.
But y'all acting
No, it
like
wasn't.
Caitlin
They
Clark
weren't about
out
to get
there
no
playing
TV deals
basketball by
before Caitlin
herself.
came around. Let's be real.
Y'all
Wasn't no
acting like
TV
Caitlin
deals
Clark
coming
out
down
there
the
playing
pipeline.
basketball by herself.
Wasn't
She's
no
not.
TV deals coming down the pipeline. That's real. We can be real and admit the real world. Yes, everybody has to experience it. This is not advantageous to our people. That is what it is, for sure. But at the same time, you gotta admit, if this is the product if this is the way to grow this game right here, if it ain't gonna be on the backs of one of ours, we can still get ours. You
But
see,
it is
Asia
on the
Wilson
back
don't say
of
a
ours,
word
and
about
it
Caitlin
has
Clark.
been.
She don't
It
say a
has
word about
been.
nothing. All she do is hoop.
It has been on the back of ours, and that's the point and
Of
that's not
course
even the point that I'm
it
trying
has.
to make. You're
Of
saying something
course.
about her being the face of the WNBA. And again, my point is, what are these women supposed to do? Just lay down, let her play basketball, or whatever the case may be. All I'm saying is they're competitive.
Absolutely not.
And now you're saying that it's
Absolutely not.
because everybody is hating. That was never my fucking point. That was never the
It's
point.
going to look crazy when everybody keeps doing something to one person. It's
But
just going to look
that's the point
crazy.
I'm trying to make. Is not only happening to one person. Y'all acting like it's only happening to one person. That's not what's happening. That's
It
not what's
is.
happening at all. Because again, I watched a WNBA game with my own eyes, multiple WNBA games across years. And it's not like only one person is getting pushed out there. Only one person is throwing an elbow. Only one. It's not just happening to Caitlin Clark. It's happening across the league. They're just highlighting when it happens to Caitlin Clark.
If you can find me a clip of another girl pushing another girl down this season, I'll shut up.
Um,
Find me one where
You
another
gotta
girl
be
ran up and
silly
pushed
as
her
hell to
down.
think that nobody else in the league has gotten pushed besides Caitlin Clark.
I ain't say push. I ain't say ain't nobody got pushed in the middle of playing. I ain't saying nobody got elbowed
I
in the
gotta
middle of
go.
playing.
I gotta
But when
go.
it's a dead
Love
ball
y'all.
and you run over
what?
and push somebody, then let them know. That
Dang,
joint
man.
crazy, bro. They be hating, bro. I'm gonna
Hey,
keep it bunky, bro. They be hating, dog. And it's fine. I understand where she coming from, but
for
that's the
sure.
reason, bro. The game ain't gonna grow if y'all just gonna hate and bring people ain't gonna want to watch the product if y'all just out there doing crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like not allowing motherfuckers to word.
Nah,
That's
for
just
sure.
as sick as it is, bro. That's the way it is, bro. That's the way they shit have gotta grow, bro. It's nasty, but
It's
that's the way they
nasty,
shit
but
gotta
that's what it
grow.
is. Yeah, no, like I said, both sides made very valid points. You know, two things can be true for sure. Dag, I'm mad sis hopped off the call. But hey, that's great content, man. Y'all be going at it, man. Hey, people love it too, man. Look, dag, man.
Bro, that joint funny, bro. I
Hey,
think it's
word.
hilarious because bro, we can talk all this and I can still tell you that Juju, I think Juju better than all of them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh
All
my
these
gosh,
girls,
yeah. I can't wait. But
you know what I'm saying?
man, listen, we appreciate all the love y'all been showing. Again, man, we just patiently waiting for football season, man. Y'all could hear it. I'm sure y'all could hear it. We on edge, man. We ready for it. You know what I'm saying? But man, this was a great pod. This is what we do it for. You know, it's the only platform you're gonna hear these type of conversations. You understand what I'm saying? With that said, you know, please continue to like, subscribe, share, and view the content. You know, it's your boy KVZ with Leak to God, and we with Drizzy and Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. We love y'all, man. Peace and blessings, man.
Peace, man.